Guess I heard it all the same. But go ahead, amuse me. I need it now. I need it now. All them pretty words, always lame. You try.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Nadya's Entrepreneurial Corner. I am here today with the lovely, the brilliant, the extraordinary Emma Gateau of Nanshe. So tell us a little bit about Nanshe. We're here during CES. It's been such a crazy week, and we actually tapped in earlier in the week at an event called CES Unveiled, but now we have an opportunity to dig a little deeper into the background of this lovely lady and the company she is with. So tell us.
Okay, so let's talk about everything. Let's go. Okay, so Nanshe is going to be the first free mobile app. It was going to help the victims of violence to provide evidence and so assert their rights in court. So this is a huge thing, and it's going to be probably the most important in the whole world. This is something totally brand new. And it's really interesting because actually the story of Nanshe came from Eric and I, so we're together, partners. And we decided to create this app because he was a lawyer and I was the French lobbyist for women and kids also. And we were like watching, these huge judicial systems are getting so messy. We saw so many different public policies and laws that were just not helping the victims, and we were like,
right.
There's something we can do. And I think that being an entrepreneur can really help, And so we decided to create this app, and so the name is from the goddess, the Sumerian goddess from 3,000 years ago. It was the goddess helping the kids and the women in villages, and so it was for the little wink. And so we decided to create the Nanshe, and it was for 18 months ago, actually.
Oh my goodness.
And, I got this call from Eric, and it was like, Emma, we're going to the CES in Vegas. And I was like, no way. And so in 10 days, here we are in Vegas, and we were selected for being one of the most innovative app of the year. And we were actually
That's
even in
so
the daily.
Exciting.
It is. And, it's amazing because America has just had us giving us such a warm welcome, and we had so many press with us, and it's important because I know it's a huge fight here, and I think it's part of the continuity of the Me Too movements, and I think it's time for women and also for kids, but we can talk about this later on, just to raise their voice and to be sure that they're going to be heard. And this is the Me Too movement 2.0.
Right. I was literally about to say that. So either I am psychic or we are literally on the same page, because I was thinking that with Me Too, obviously, it was huge a few years ago, and then the pandemic happened, and then that is really, everyone's focus came in on that. Exactly. But in that time, there was such an upsurge in domestic violence and violence as a whole, so I feel like your app is coming at a really good time. But I want to kind of back things up a little bit because this podcast, we're all about looking at kind of the roots of entrepreneurship. Yeah. You're 24 years old.
Yes,
you're from France, and here in America, we view France as enigmatic and romantic and beautiful, and you're over here I love America.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But I just want to know, where did the seed for, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to make something, where did that come from? And then what was the process of actually, finding your partner and moving this along? Because obviously, people might be like, oh, she's just an overnight success, and obviously there's so much behind building a business, right?
Exactly. And so it's a very nice story, and thank you for the question, because I think there's a lot of people talking about who they are but not actually how they get there. And so I started working when I was 16 years old. I was first a model, and it was for me the opportunity to get a lot of money.
You're my sister from another sister.
Exactly. We're definitely the same. And so I started with modeling because the modeling industry was offering me this kind of jobs, and I was like, okay, so it's probably so helpful for me to get some money. So after I'd be I know I'm gonna be a CEO of companies. So I was at school and college, and during my college time I was working in with the French government and stuff like that. So I was working with a political party, and then in the French Senate, and then I realized that I really wanted to be independent, and for me being an entrepreneur was definitely the price of freedom. And I grew up in a family where all the people around me were actually entrepreneurs. You know,
Wow.
my dad, who is actually my role model, he had so many companies, my mom too, and they were like, this is a price for freedom, and it's got to be a passport for freedom. And I think it's all about, the personality. And I was, this strong character, strong personality.
What's your sun sign?
Aries.
Aries.
I'm an Aries and a Scorpio.
Oh,
so you can see like both. They're like, but actually, it was part of me. Like I remember when I was a kid, I always used to say like, I'm gonna be someone, and I'm gonna try my best to do something great and have an impact on this world, like a social impact, and do something great. And it was like I have to work hard. And in France, there are a lot of people who try to be entrepreneurs, but it's hard because.
Yeah.
This is another mentality, this is another culture, but I was like, I can make it in my country and I'm going to do it, and I want to break the rules and probably be also the next generation of entrepreneurs. Right. And I grew up so in this environment of different entrepreneurs, with like the Forbes family, we used to say before, and all these amazing people who like launched, their companies. So it really helped me in my entire life to be like, okay, I'm going to be one of them, I want to be part of them, and I want to be like this young, strong woman. To have my own company. So I started my first company when I was only 22 years old, and now I have like 3 companies and also like Nanshe, and I'm really proud of it.
So what was the first company?
My first company was Emma Gateau and Associates. So it was my lobbying company. It still is actually, and we're working with like so many different clients on so many different issues, and I love that because we're representing and defending private interest with like politicians to make things just.
This is specifically in France. Yeah.
Specifically in France and in Europe, and hopefully probably one day in a worldwide, but I'm not a multinational for now. Probably with time, but it's getting crazy here, and so. Like it was part of me, and it was probably the only way for me to be happy and good with myself. It was to entrepreneur, but it was hard, and no one tell you how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. No. Even if you're in America or like in Europe, it's totally different.
It's kind of like that mentality of like, if you're going to go do this, you figure it out, because I certainly don't know how to do that. So you
don't even have the tools, and I think there is no schools, there is no diplomas to help you to be an entrepreneur.
In the U.S. there are, but I feel like the real entrepreneurs, let's be real, like they don't go and pursue a program in entrepreneurship.
They have actually a vision, and convictions, and I think what is really important is to be convicted by what you're actually doing and doing your best to make it happen. And it's all about the dream that you have and make it grow and just making it grow. Exactly.
And all of that. So you were already starting to build these other companies.
Yeah.
So then what was the catalyst for Nanshe? Obviously you do have a co-founder in the business. So I'm wondering, was it when you met him that you kind of put your heads together and that this idea was born, or what happened? I love these stories.
Okay, so let's talk about all the story. So I was like totally tired and fed up of seeing what was really happening in my country. Like so many women have been killed by their husbands, so many domestic violence, and what really like shocked me was the fight that I had with the kids and friends to change the laws to protect kids, victims of any types of violences. And I was like, there is something I got to do about this. So it was like in my head, in my mind.
Wheels are spinning.
Exactly. And one day, like this guy, Eric and all these partners came into my office because actually they had a company, and they were like, we need a lobbyist. So we started to be like very close, very family, very friendly too. And it was like, I'm a lawyer and I love what you're doing for women in France. I love what you're doing for kids. And I have this idea of creating this app because I actually got the tech. I already have the technology, so we have to build something. And I was like, I'm pretty sure like entrepreneurs can help to do something with that. And so together we were like in front of the table and we're like, okay, let's work this out. Let's do something. And so that's how it goes. And we worked so hard. And I was like, let's do amazing things with this app, and now we are.
I love that. And it, such a perfect display of allyship on his part, really wanting to move the needle forward, but understanding that he needed you to make that happen.
Exactly. And I think, it's like working both sides. Like I needed him because he had the tech, but also the experience that I don't really have because I've been a lawyer for like 25 years. and I'm only 24, so you know there's a huge
There's definitely an age gap going
yeah, exactly.
on.
But you know,
But
I love
that's exciting, the cross-generational.
It's exciting because actually you can promote like diversity and the fact that old person can work with young people and together
Yes.
with the same vision and the same convictions, you can go so
Exactly. So we have a Gen Z and then we have an X Gen working together. I love that. So obviously, so that was around 18 months
Yeah.
or, ago, give or take,
Exactly.
and so much has happened since
So
then.
much.
You know, here you are at the biggest global tech conference in the
It's
world,
amazing.
getting all this press. So, like, what is happening in your mind right now with all of this going on? How are you
Actually-
like compartmentalizing all of it?
Oh my god, I'm actually, you know, bursting in tears, like, because it's tears of joy. Because for me, like I told you, like, I'm this little French girl, like, coming in America, which is like the size of Europe, and becoming this huge person doing great things. And I got people, you know, in the streets were like,
Yeah.
oh, you're Emma Gateau, please come ahead, we need a picture with you. And I was like, it's just inviting my dream. And it's just going so fast, and I'm kind of scared a little bit because I'm scared about this huge wave, you
Right.
know, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be good enough to survive to that and to be
Right.
like very focused even with the pressure, and it helps you also to be like very strong and motivated and keep on being so determined and be like, okay, now
Yeah.
you have so many people involved, there's so many people believing in you, so you
Right.
don't have to disappoint
The
them.
pressure is on.
The pressure is so on, and I'm just like, but I'm super excited because it's actually probably
It's a good pressure.
It's a good pressure, and it's probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. And you know, this is the fight of my life, so I'm very devoted to this cause, and I hope that I could be very helpful for all these women and all these kids out there, and probably be also like the speaker for my generation and keep on fighting for our rights.
Keep on pushing forward. So
Exactly.
the app is launching on International Women's Day, which I believe is the 8th of March, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
So what can users expect when the app goes live, and it's going to be available for both iPhone and Android?
Exactly.
So what features are they going to expect to see?
Probably that, you know, what is really important with the app is that you can choose 3 angels. This is something very important, like 3 people that you can trust. It could be also like your lawyer or like
Right.
a lawyer that could be just, you know, expected on the app. And also like associations of women wherever you are in the world. That's really important, like these 3 people, because when you're in case of great danger, you'll be able to send them, you know, this alarm saying, yes, I'm in danger, and there's my location right now for like 30 minutes. So they're going to be probably helpful in great danger.
Right.
But probably the fact that, you know, violence is going step by step. It's starting sometime with like, and mostly psychological before to get, you know, physical. So
Yes.
like getting all this proof, getting all these evidences, and be like, okay, so one day when I'll be ready to talk, I could.
I have that.
Exactly. So you have so many tools also that you can use, like take a photo, take a video, even record like an audio and you know, WhatsApp messages, and you can keep all these files, and it's gonna go straight to the cloud thanks to the
Wow.
blockchain, and it's gonna be so safe, and no one could ever watch your documents, because even though, you know, you're with a person who want to destroy you and destroy your phone, all the files are kept.
Are
in the
secure.
cloud.
So a lot of people, you know, are getting into Web3 and
Yeah.
blockchain. Many others don't understand the
Yeah.
importance of it, but in your app's case, it's really offering an additional layer
Sure.
of security
Exactly.
to people.
For me, it was really important, you know, just to make sure that blockchain can be used as a service and can
Yeah.
have this social impact. Very important. And I think, you know, the tech, if you're smart enough to see these, you know, kind of opportunities that it can offer, you can try to do great things. And I think, you know, that blockchain can save actually lives. And there is something within the Talmud, as you know, like if you save one life, you can save humanity. And I
Yes.
think that thanks to blockchain, we probably could save humanity. I
Well,
think
this
it's
is a
something-
mitzvah for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
2 Jewish girls, guys.
True.
I love that. We're smart. What can we say? So much going on. Now, you've gotten some pretty big celebrity endorsements lately. Can we talk about that, or is that off limits?
No, come on, we can talk about that. Like, it's amazing because it's getting so viral, and I'm so happy. And you know, like, I couldn't even imagine that it could be such a huge success.
Who are some of these people that are giving you
Yeah.
some endorsements? Can we say their names?
Oh, what do you want me to say? Actually,
I don't know. You tell me. Who are some of these cool people who really understand the necessity of what you're doing? Anyone that's exciting you right now that you're comfortable sharing.
Well, there's so many people that are so inspiring, but I'm so lucky, to be like these amazing Hollywood actresses that are great. Like they made such a great fights, like Jane Fonda, like Rosanna Arquette. These women, they're amazing, And when I get this call from Rosanna, I just cried. And I told her, like, I'm crying, really, literally. And she was like, don't cry, honey, because what you're doing is great. And you have to fight. And I was like, oh my God. So it is really happening right now. Like, she was really calling me. She's having my cell phone.
Oh my God.
And she was like, what you're doing is amazing, but you have to be careful and you have to keep on going and to be just determined and go straight to the point where you want to go. And I was like, thank you so much. She's such an amazing and inspiring person, like Jane Fonda also, like all these women, in Hollywood and here in America, they're really inspiring and they're so helpful for me, and I don't know, just like
yes. And did they mention where they found you? Because that's the one thing, of course, on the corner, I really like to encourage other entrepreneurs listening the importance of press, the importance of building a strong brand.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you
a strong
something.
personal brand too.
Exactly, and I used to work for the PR for like 2 years, so I know a little bit about all the media and the power that they can have. And media is so important because you guys are helping us to give visibility and also like to hear the strong message that we have to carry. And exactly, and this is really important. And so thanks to the press, of course, the media, because we're on every channel here in America, but even in Asia. I'm in Tokyo, I'm in Seoul.
I mean, it's like a snowball effect. That's really what I like to tell people. Once you get that right story out there, but you have to have a story.
You have to have a story.
You have to have a story and an impact, ideally, behind it.
Exactly.
Which is why everyone, I'm such an advocate for a purposeful partnership service where we partner nonprofits and for-profits together for mutual impact. So I think, you're really driving that impact forward. And I just want to note, in America, it's so hard to get a restraining order, unless you have physical abuse to show. And as you noted, and as we've seen in TV shows like Made, it's that psychological, emotional abuse that is always going to be the precursor to that physical violence. So you're really giving people a tool for empowerment, for taking matters into their own hands, and also essentially building their own case files.
Exactly, because I think, and for free. This is something really important. I don't want like this capitalistic mentality of stuff, because women, they're always, all women in the whole world, they don't even have the same, money and stuff like this. So it was really important for me to do this free. And also, and available for anyone, and very, easy to
access it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But
especially in certain countries like India,
exactly,
it's going to be extra impactful.
Exactly.
Certain African countries.
Yes. So I really appreciate this show. May is produced by Margot Robbie, and there's something that I just I've seen, like psychological violences. We actually all experience this as women. I think we all been into this kind of bad relationship that really affected you, and I think that on the moment you're just you think it's normal, and this is the message that I want to, send to all the women out there. It's not normal at all. And I hope that with my app, you're going to be able to understand that what is happening to you, it's not a normal thing, and you have to be able just to understand that you can keep the proof that it's terrible for you, and you can probably just have to do your best for having this file and just getting out of this.
Getting out of it. Is there an ability in the app to kind of document these incidents of abuse so you can kind of keep track of how often it's happening?
Exactly, because you have this possibility of having this little calendar on the app where there's all the files that you kept with the timeline, with everything, and the days. So when, for example, when you go to the police station and you're like, oh, sorry, I don't really remember when it happens, you can just go on the app.
There.
Exactly, you can see what happens and what was it, because you can add comments on the picture that you took, on the record that you made, and stuff like this. So I think it's going to be very helpful for all the showing, the perverse thing of psychological violence.
I think it's also really empowering just to show the user herself. The kind of the patterns.
Exactly.
Because, I was in an abusive relationship for a time, and it was very much, psychological abuse, and it did at one point end up where I had to call the police.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God. And, you know,
And what did they say?
the crazy guy, he was taken away, but then
Yeah.
evidently he was just dropped down the street. And then the police officers came, and I talked to them briefly, and they were like, are you going to take this person back after this? Which was just kind of like jarring. I mean, I said at that time, like, no. But of course, you know, the relationship there continued. But then, you know, I was starting to kind of see, it was like, this is not going to end well. So I finally got out of it. But not everyone's in a position to do that. You know, maybe they're cohabitating. Maybe
it's
there's
very
children
complicated.
involved. And it
Exactly.
gets so much more complicated.
And it's so complicated, and we all experience that, you know, and all the women with who I talk, you know, in my entire life, they were like, it's very complicated because, of course, you're scared.
Yeah.
And because there's also this problem that you're never going to be trusted, you know, and
Right.
they're never going to believe you. And, you know, the phrase, the catchphrase of Nanshe is, we believe you. And I think
Right.
it's really important. This is a real important impact message that I want to spread today. But I know that it's not really easy to get out of a situation. That's why on the app you're going to be able to have these lawyers and this
Right.
association of women who can help you wherever you are in 125 countries.
Yes.
So that's really important. For example, even though you're like with your, I don't know, your man or your boyfriend, your girlfriend on vacation, imagine in Brazil, you will
Right.
have this app and you could go to the authorities of Brazil.
Right. So
Whatever.
it's not relegating you to your country of origin.
Yeah.
You have a lot more flexibility with that
Exactly.
app. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to do, something very global, very international, because, you know, violence has no borders.
That's right.
So, of course,
Right.
it's really important for you just to be sure that wherever you are and whatever the time is, you're going to be heard and
Right.
you're going to be helped by any
Right.
government and local authorities of where you are. This is something
It's
really
amazing.
important.
And also, hopefully, it'll help make changes within these different governments as well.
Yeah.
The more women, the more people that are using the app, 'cause of
Yeah.
course, it's not just women.
Yeah.
You know, anyone really can be a victim of DV or emotional psychological abuse.
Exactly.
This is going to stimulate change worldwide.
I hope
think
so.
it's so empowering.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I want to know before we wrap, and thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you.
podcast. What's next for you? I mean, obviously, there's so much more to do with Nanshe,
Yeah.
and you have other companies under your belt. But what's
Yeah.
your big personal vision? You are so young. You have so many years ahead of you. Where do you see yourself when you're, let's say, oh God, my age, 36?
Come on, you're young. I don't know, like, it's a good question, actually. And I don't know, probably at the head of so many good companies that I will be able to, you know, to make grow and just to have all these creative ideas and I can
Yes.
just try to create them and to put
So
them in
many
real.
things.
Exactly. And probably what I really hope, you know, inside of me, like, probably not when I'll be like 36, because actually my country, like, all mentalities are complicated. When you're young and you're a woman, it can be very complicated for you, but probably when I be like 40, like, probably in politics, and I will try to do things move, but
Yeah.
when I'll be ready and when I will have
I think you're going to be an ambassador for the UN one day.
probably, who knows, you know, but yes, I hope that I will
Miss Angelina Jolie second.
I hope, like, she's amazing, and she's, you know, like, all these people, like, George Clooney's wife, she's doing amazing things, you know, in the UN, and I hope that it's just gonna keep on being, and probably, yes,
Right.
I'm gonna keep on running some companies, and what I really wish is just to do something here in America,
Yes.
and just to, I don't know, to see where my American dreams can just take me.
Just take hold. Well, thank you so much. You heard it
Thank
first
you.
on Nadya's Entrepreneurial Corner. Don't forget to check out Nanshe on March 8th on International Women's Day, and have a great one, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
It's lame, you're trying to entice me. Not going down, not going down. And you